Hey everybody, it is ModelcarNick here today, and I'm going to be showing you guys around this Lamborghini Temerario by Maisto. Behind it, I have the Lamborghini Huracan Performante, and then a regular Gallardo, just to show you guys kind of some of the differences between the generation of these V10 Lamborghini models. So, we'll go ahead and start off with the spec of this car. It's obviously finished in this really lovely kind of matte blue. It looks really nice on this thing, especially contrasted with these silver kind of two-tone wheels, and then you have a nice black interior. But overall spec is really nice. I believe this is one of the launch colors that came out on this car, so good to see it make it through on the 118 scale from Maisto's. This is a new release for 2025, and you can find these right now, I believe, only at Costco. I'm sure they'll make their way into Sam's Club, but I've yet to see them, so just be on the lookout. These things go for about $20 when you pick them up from retail, but if you were to pay resale on them for like eBay going down the road, you can probably expect to pay anywhere from $35 to $45. Wouldn't really recommend it, but if you must get your hand on one of these, this is a really lovely model. So we'll start up front up here on the nose of the car, and you can see the Lamborghini crest right there with the bull. Looks really nice and crisp on this model. I think they did a really good job on the logos, and you can see that paint kind of glistening through. Even though this is a matte paint, it does kind of have some kind of metallic flake in it as well. So really nice looking front end. As you can see, these headlights right up here are really nice and kind of thin. Kind of looking at the older generations, the headlights were really big, really different shapes, and on these newer Lamborghini models, you can see the clean design kind of on the front headlights. This right here would be like the daytime running light, but it's finished kind of in this silver. You can kind of see it looks really nice, I think, on this model. Nice kind of contrast, and it matches with the wheels, so it looks really cool. You can see kind of the front end as well. It has like some grills going on, but just a bunch of plastic. You can't really see much through that, but you can see there's some vents and everything like that. And then you have this front lip right up here, and it looks like it's just finished in matte black plastic. So I will say this car does have a real black of carbon fiber, I think. So that's kind of interesting. They didn't go full carbon mode on this model. So here's kind of the front end. The front does open up, so it is kind of nice. You can grab it from the headlights and just pull up, and you can see the headlights themselves kind of more detailed when the front is open. So nice that the glass kind of wraps inside of the trunk, or the front, I should say. You can see there's not too much space up there. We'll go ahead and put the Pagani, and you can see doesn't fit very much of anything in there, so wouldn't expect it to, but you can see this is actually made out of metal, so sounds really good, feels really good in the hand, I must say, too. It's got some nice weight to it. But yeah, so as we move on to the side of the model, as you can see, we really have these really cool looking multi-spoke wheels with this interesting design. You have the Lamborghini crest in the center of the wheel cap right there. You can see the lug nuts are finished kind of in gloss black as well, but you really can't see much of anything else behind there. The rotors themselves are kind of finished in this darker kind of, plastic. They are drilled, you can see, but brake calipers are finished in black with the Lamborghini script written on them. So, it kind of hides itself behind these wheels, but it is there. So that is kind of a nice little feature. But as we move down, you can kind of see the air vents come through really nicely on this model for the rear kind of engine air intake right there. You have another upper one right there on the rear as well. And then you have the only exterior carbon that I noticed so far is kind of this kind of winglet right here around the window. So that's the only detail. It is this textured carbon fiber, so you can kind of feel, the texture to it. So rear wheels are pretty much the same as the front, but I do want to point out kind of the design back here, because you have this little, I want to say, air curtain thing that goes around the wheels. So that would be this bit right here, and it looks really nice on this model. You have another Temerario badge down there on the side, so it looks really cool. And then you have a little gas cap or hybrid cap, because this car actually is a hybrid. And I think I said V10 earlier. I want to say this is actually an 8-cylinder car, but I really don't remember. I know you guys will probably correct me in the comments below, but I'm pretty sure it's an 8-cylinder engine. So we'll go ahead and open up the engine bay. As you can see, the top of it is kind of in a two-tone finish. We get this matte black kind of engine cover on the top right there that does have some holes through it, and then you have some kind of vents right here on the side, but you can't see through them directly except for this middle part. So back here is, it actually is a V8. There we go. So Lamborghini V8 engine. It looks honestly not great, but I like the details around the engine. But the engine itself looks really boring. I think it's just kind of super plasticky in here, but you do have these nice like strut braces, and there actually is quite a bit of detail around the engine itself. So honestly, pretty decent effort besides the engine. So we'll go ahead and close that back up, and you can see kind of the rear deck of this model. Looks super cool. You have kind of this center exit exhaust right there, but it doesn't go down very deep, as you can see. You have your flanking taillights on each side. Nothing really too special there, in my opinion. Lamborghini badge right there on the center, and then you have a Temerario license plate. And I did just notice some more carbon fibers, so your diffuser looks pretty cool. You have a third brake light, but it is finished in this nice kind of glossy carbon fiber, so it does still have some texture to it, but it's not as bad as I've seen. And it does come across very well in person. It's just kind of hard to see on camera, but you can kind of see this rear end sticks out quite a bit with this rear bumper and the diffuser. So, you know, that's kind of the exterior design of this car. You do kind of have a rear ducktail spoiler that kind of comes up just a little bit. So honestly, a really neat looking car, and I'm excited to see, you know, if they do a Performante version of this. I think it's going to look absolutely excellent. But yeah, we'll go ahead and pop open the interior real quick. As you can see, Maisto, so the doors don't come open all the way, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll show you kind of the door cards. As you can see, it does look like they're just also finished in kind of matte black plastic. Yeah, no carbon fiber design on the doors, unfortunately, and you can't really see much of anything. But you do have a Lamborghini, or just a Temerario badge on the door sill, so that is kind of nice. But honestly, the interior on this thing, super plasticky, but the details are pretty cool. As you can see, there is like a carbon fiber kind of section up on the dashboard with a little screen, and then your air vents as well are finished in carbon fiber. And then the seats themselves, as you can see, they're just these kind of bucket seats, but you don't really have any cool design or contrast on the seats itself. So just a bunch of plastic, and then you get the, looks like there's actually Lamborghini badges on the headrest. I might be like just seeing things. No, there actually is. It's just kind of in a weird red paint. It doesn't really come through very well, but you can kind of see it if you're looking at it on the right angle. So that's kind of the seats. And then we'll look at the driver's zone real quick. So as you can see, looks like it's kind of just, you know, super plasticky, but you do get some carbon fiber around the dashboard. The gauge cluster kind of just sits upright, as you can see. So kind of interesting design, but honestly, the paddle shifters on this car are extra humongous. It looks kind of weird with the steering wheel just at this angle, I think, but it does look pretty cool, I guess. As you can see on the center console, you have the start-stop button and then the screen, but that's kind of the interior and not really too much else going on in there as well. So just real quick, I just want to show you kind of the scale. I know you guys might have some of these models. If you put the Lamborghini Performante and the Gallardo right next to you, you can kind of get a sense that the Temerario is just slightly a bit bigger and wider than these three models. So here's kind of a view at the top. As you can see, Gallardo is really small. It's a really small car, so you can see these cars kind of grew in size over time. But here's kind of a look at all of them together. They look super cool. And I'll show you all the back sides real quick, just so we can get a quick comparison of how these models changed over the years. So these are all coupes, obviously, but this is the Performante, and the rest of these would just be kind of the standard base models of the car. But, you know, you can kind of see the design language come through, and I think a lot of people were saying with this new Temerario, it kind of just gives some Gallardo vibes to it. Just, I don't know, it just has a little bit more boxier of a design, as where the Huracan was a little bit more kind of round and smooth. But you can kind of see these two cars look a little bit similar. Just, you know, the Temerario is just kind of the upgraded version of it, just minus 2 cylinders. But it's cool to have all these models together. and I'm appreciative if you guys have made it this far in the video. Thank you guys so much. We just hit 700 subscribers, so if you're not already, I would highly appreciate you guys subscribe and also hype me up. That's a new feature that YouTube has, and it really helps out my channel, so if you guys wouldn't mind doing that, I would greatly appreciate it. But overall, amazing model. If I had to rate it out of 10, I'd probably give it a solid 8, honestly. Maybe it's still 7.5. That's usually what I give Maistos. You know, you have lack of windows, and I think the lack of carbon fiber on this car is a little bit unfortunate, but this does come in a lot of variety of colors. I've seen an orange and a purple one so far, and then obviously you have the matte blue one, so you have some variety out there, and you don't have to go with the matte blue one if you don't want to, so that is really nice. But yeah, I really appreciate it again, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take it easy. Bye.